Pompa Chomdende Shema Dojamba Yandama Sobe Sanhi Riba Don Shasu Demba Dewa Shema Jiten Jempa Yamu Dewe Karo Jwa Nana Mipa Nana Mina Jitamba Sanje Chomdende Yawa Shaja Doba Chansel Chodo Josu Chiwo Tompa Chomdende Dijin Sheba Dajamba Yandaba Sobe Sanje Riba Dan Jasu Demba Dewa Sheba Jiten Jemba Jibundu Kalo Jiwa Nana Mipa Nada Mina Jamba Sanje Chomdende Bejawa Shaja Toba Chansel Chodo Jasu Chiwo Tompa Chomdende Dijin Sheba Drajamba Yandaba Sobe Sanje Riba Dan Jasu Demba Dewa Sheba Jiten Jempa Jibun Duwe Kalo Jawa Nana Mipa Nada Mina Jitamba Sanje Chomdende Bejawa Shaja Doba Chansel Chodo Jasu Chiwo Boni Zo Chedan Zi Sachen De La Gomba Dumbone Mani Juden De Na Juje Son De Se Keba Jola Chanselo Nanda Guna Chodo Zuzama Yeshe Gyanso Seju Nubodro Taba Jiden Sona Lamewa Gombo Chuni Chola Chanselo Senjo Demba Jime Dawisha Sendo Jawa Chola Chanselo Yudra Siba Soma Che Yame Chen Chen Chola Chanselo Gombo Tuje Chen Demba Tang Chen Chen Be Demba Bo Sana Yuden Yang Shen De Shen Shela Chanselo Tabe Du Cha Jawa Yu Yewe Nyeson De Dru Shin Judo Danda Chuju Ba Shin Ju Chola Chanselo Chone Chowe La Yang Den La Pa Da La Ra Tu Ne Shen Ge Dang Pa Yu Den Den Gen Du La Yang Chanselo De Pa Che Yang Me Ja Shin Ge Wa Bu Song So Pa Kyo Rang Ge Sen Ne Yong Su Du Sen Ne Sang Ge Ten Pa Yin Karma Ra Re Ma Me Dang Ju Ma Zin Wa Chu Bo Dan Me La Lo Da Drin Da Bu Du Xie Chu Na De Da Da So Na De Ye Tang Xie Si Ba Ye Go Pan Tu Me Yong Ye Do Tu De Ga Da Na Da Chi We Lo Zhu Me Si Be So Le Zhou Wan Zhu Wan Zhou.
Heart Sutra in English. Thus I have heard. At one time the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of Vulture Peak Mountain with a great gathering of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time the Blessed One was absorbed in the samadhi of the many aspects of phenomena called profound appearance. At the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, saw the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Then, through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to the noble Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, how should a son of the lineage train who wishes to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke. Venerable Abong Rinpoche, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, answered Venerable Shariputra with these words. Shariputra, those men and women of the lineage who wish to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look at it like this. The five skandhas should be seen purely in their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form also is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, recognition, compositional factors of consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are emptiness, and having no characteristics, they are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no recognition, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no phenomenon. There is no quality of sight, and so on until no quality of mind, no quality of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no exhaustion of ignorance, and so on up to no old age and death, and no exhaustion of old age and death. In the same way, there is no suffering, no origin, no ending, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide by means of the profound perfection of wisdom. And since their minds have no obscurations, they have no fear. Transcending falsity, they attain nirvana. All Buddhas who dwell in the three times have relied upon the perfection of wisdom and have become true and complete Buddhas of unsurpassable, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of profound perfection of wisdom, the mantra of insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering should be known as truth, for it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisattva. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva Mahasattva should trade in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and said to the bodhisattva Mahasattva, Noble Abong Rinpoche, that he has spoken well. Well done, O son of the lineage, it is so. O son of the lineage, since it is just so, the profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will also rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Venerable Shariputra, Noble Abong Rinpoche, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, and the entire gathering, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, rejoiced and praised the words of the Blessed One. Lama Dan Gongpo there.
Lam Rim Teachings, Da Ge Che Wo Be De De Shu La, Ka Rin Chen Be Go Ne Je Song De, Gu Song Tu Je Mu Du Se Du So, Gu Song Ge Ne Che We Chun Be Gu, Ta Ye Zhu We Re Wa Gong We Song, Ma Le She Zhan Che Shen Se Be Tu, Sha Je So Wo De La So Wa De, Tu Je Shen Bo De Shen Tu Je Shan, Chu Ze De Lo Ba Da Na Ro Ba, Ba Da A De Sha, Ya Le She La Je La So Wa De, Shang Ba To Me Yi Nie Na Zhu De, Chu De Du We De Da Zhou Be Be, Si Zang Gu Sa Le Nie Se Le Ba, Jia Jin Shi Be Je La So Wa De, Shang Ba Yu Me Shu Ji Lu Zhu Dan, Da Wan Zhou Ba Ri Be Gu Ju Che, San Jie Gun Zhu Ba Ba Ya Se So, Sa Mo Da Yue Ji La So Wa De, Xie Du Dan Be Chung A De Sha, Ga Dan Ten Be Me Bon Zhu De Je, Nian Zhu Na Xie Gu Che Song La So, Ga Dan La Ma Na La So Wa De, Gang Jian Xin De Su Je Tsongkapa, Ren Be Wan Shu Jia Sa Je, Dong Ma Ten Be Da Bo Ke Zhu Je, Yao Se Ju Ba Je La So Wa De, Zhao Su Gu De La Ma Du Je Chang, Kan La Kan De Xie Nian Su Zu Nian, Chou Dan Tu Mo Mu Zhu Su Zi Ping, Chen Chen La Ma Na La So Wa De, Ren Zhong Su Ro Kun La Da Yue Ming, De Zang Ta Ba Zhu Bian Zhu Mo Chou, Zhe Wei Zhu Bei Tao Gen Zhe Ba Yi, Sen Zi Xie Nian Na La So Wa De, Jie Wen Kun Du Yang Da La Ma Dang, Zhe Mi Zhi Zhi Be La Long Xue Ting, Sa Dan Lan Ju Yun Den Zhao Zu Nian, Lo Ji Chang Ge Gu Yun Dong Shu, Song Ji Shu Dang So Ji Zhou Nan La, Zhang Zhou Ba Hu Da Ni Zhou Su Qi, Da Ge Chen Jian Jie Bei So Nan Ji, Lo Le Ben Jie Sang Jie Lu Gan Shu, Song Ji Zhou Dan So Ji Zhou Nan La, Shan Shu Ba Du Da Ni Zhou Su Qi, Da Ge Chen Jian Jie Bei So Nan Ji, Lo Le Ben Jie Sang Jie Lu Gan Shu, Song Ji Zhou Dan So Ji Zhou Nan La, Shan Shu Ba Du Da Ni Zhou Su Qi, Da Ge Chen Jian Jie Bei So Nan Ji, Lo Le Ben Jie Sang Jie Lu Gan Shu.
là một thứ as you, as usual that before receiving the teachings, shaping one's motivation is important, and basically what is meant by shaping one's motivation is to ask oneself, why are we here today? For what purpose we are gathering together here?
Tā ngā lā guyā nā dewa yin, dewa tēlā lūdē dā sēndē nīndu, tā lūdē nā sēndē lā nīni, tā bēnjō dā tūndrikī tāndā lā rū tūgu dū, tā sēnjī dēchī sēngi dē, tā ngō nē rū tā tēnē, tā bī chū mā sū mē dū, yin sā nā dēyī chē tā yin, ngē, nī rāshī kāñchā kī sēnjī dewa yun bī tāndā lā yin, tā bī chū rūgu yin sē chē rā, dē yin ngā sā nē jā na.
So then, the answer to the question of what is the purpose of being here. So our purpose of being here together is to seek happiness. So when speaking about happiness, there are two kinds, primary of two kinds. One is the physical happiness, and the next is the mental happiness. So physical happiness can be achieved by, acquiring wealth, name, acquisition, and so forth. But then when it comes to the mental happiness, the true mental happiness can only be achieved by relying upon the sublime teachings of the Dharma. So it is therefore, I'm here to receive the teachings of the Dharma to achieve mental happiness for myself and that of other sentient beings.
Sana wana tendriki chuyo chenye te tere chiron su sacha kawa chegu yoyo se lao yundi. Ani nga su tanda nga desa ki sha de yoyo se kecha mimba che. Ani tenpa tubi wangbo yundi. Ani nga su de nyangdo tena yang tanda nga su chuyo she yundi chiko ma yinba. Ani ta yoyo bi sanche nyangdo yoyo ne. Ani tendriki dana la yin nga chuyo chenye chege yin se te ta nga su kangai nyangdo kiwa che.
So then when you're receiving the teachings, the environment or the place where you are, you should not think about the place where the Rinpoche is residing in this particular place, but rather imagine that you are being in the presence of the Buddha, and not only that you are receiving the teachings in the presence of the Buddha Shakyamuni, but all other sentient beings in your surrounding, imagining that all sentient beings in your surrounding, and they too are receiving the teachings of the Buddha Dharma.
Ngone chana nga so ge tembi shinga le yese de ngo so gi maying ji chao sha ke maro da temba se de ni nga so ge tanda la ni be me hlu che ni nga ro so ngo le te pe gi ndo wa yin na ni temba la kan la me ba che ni de yin de tu ba shu se song sha wa yin sa ne nga so de ma bin cha ge maro ngone cha ge.
So when speaking about imagining the Buddha in front of oneself, we're not just making up, or there's something that doesn't exist and we're just, just mere visualizations. That's not the case. Because Buddha is always there. As long as you have a genuine faith, as long as you have a faith is taking place in your continuum, and Buddha will be always there.
저도 고대 우슈도 배나 가속이 풍부되는 생박이 제전에 주보트 피기 만로나 로사 데바도에서 텔레기 마로와 코 구주 코는 생다 온생 예매인산에 가는 데바에 봐 다랑이 네 생들레 도라 대체디 상제세디 온생 장내 주빈 자리 다 침비다니로.
So the reason for that is because when speaking of the Buddha, it is not that we make an effort when we're planning to go somewhere. You have to first plan and make an effort, and to actually not only just you are planning and you are thinking, but you have to engage in actions of going there physically. That is how we ordinary beings are. But whereas the Buddha is something completely different. Why it is different is because it is to say that Buddha's mind and the body are inseparable. It is a non-dual. Lungsam Yarme, which means the non-duality of the wind and the mind. The Buddha's body is composed of non-duality of the wind and the mind. So therefore, so long as there is a faithful individual being there and then visualizing him or her, visualizing him, and Buddha will be always there. It doesn't require any effort to get that the particular place. Rather, at the moment that you think about the Buddha will appear in front of oneself.
그래서 그대로 쉬도 그것도 의미에서 내려와. 그것도 의미에서 라요디 강로 공사 다가랑이 구주대 대화돼 되더라.
So it is also said that kutuk yerme, which means non-duality of the body and mind, non-duality of the body and mind, which means whenever and wherever the Buddha wants to be, it doesn't require the Buddha to, engage in any kind of actions or efforts physically to get that particular place, but rather at the moment that you think about, at the moment that you have a faith in Buddha, so will appear in front of ourselves. That is what is meant by kutu yerme, which is non-duality of mind and a body, enlightened body.
다조사 말이 다 야긴다. 당가서 까마송 미바체긴다. 된되게 덤바치 미바체로. 덤바당 선제 미바체다. 다 미베 맞추나 다 유기 맞추리다.
So let's meditate on Buddha being in front of oneself for a couple of minutes.
아야. 다들 경로 치바체나니 컨센버세 주되니 사송주 드메주 부상주랑 주제 바스.
With these motivations, positive motivations, that particular teaching that you are receiving today is Lam Rim Chenmo, which is the treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment.
인산에 된주에 줘대 아니 맞선 가르쳐봤다. 장신 감각이 때도 되지 중에지 이나 조회기 차이지요나 랑가 되는 만도나 말랭이지 사제지.
So this is the teachings which actually shows us a path to everlasting happiness. So long as you accept everlasting happiness, there's no other way around to get to that stage, which is the everlasting happiness, without going through this path.
라바도 가서 사먹고 마서 수순 몇번 라운드에 된다래도라. 나속이 수순 되고에 되긴 몇번지자 레카체데 카카체들마도 오늘 전에 처럼이 몇번에 팀비고네 가로고 인세데 무비네스데 좋아지 거네나. 네 체년체는 로고에 라.
So it is to actually fulfilling the purpose of one's own self. As we are we long to achieve happiness and overcome sufferings, and in order to achieve happiness and overcome sufferings, and this is the only a path or the way that you can actually venture onto to achieve everlasting happiness.
말에 되는 시에고에 대 말에 가지는 놈에 나서 단다 쳇내가 다가랑이 되기도 나와이나. 그러와 단단 가서 저기지 쇼게는 거나만 쳇내 단단 잠블이게 쳇던 다가랑이 되기도 나와이나.
So then
놈에서로 쳇던.
if we were to say that I'm on the right path, I am being in the same stage where all human beings are. I'm not backward. I'm fine. If you were to say that.
또 딘디게 상해지나 다른 거 속에 변에 제칸들 차지잖아 들어와 토마야 차바존에 단답보다 깔레그 저셔야다 단달을 깔레져야 돼 마을 로도 마도 깔레져 먹는 진 차면도 와.
So then here, if we become, satisfied by whatever the happiness or the circumstances that you have, and this is not actually, what you call the ultimate state of happiness. If this is the ultimate state of happiness as we believe, then there shouldn't be it doesn't need for us to engage in any kind of activities or actions to move further to gain more happiness. For example, we have been engaged in all kinds of activities, being in this particular planet, in particular country, to gain happiness. Yet at the same time, we have not been able to achieve what we long to achieve.
다 개발 인생에 생리바 인생에 깔레 자우도 저어래다 녀다 차기 로도 마도로 다 가슴 저기도 생에게 땜바치 주는 차이면도.
There are many scholars, scientists who is aiming towards providing happiness to all beings. However, it is not possible for all those beings to be able to provide happiness to all sentient beings. That is spirit, right? It is. This is the fact. In fact, it complicates the life of human beings. It creates more complication the lives of human beings.
당근에 돈에지 개체도 도자 시우지래마도 녀만 추추 대비 손지로. 로 녀만 강추 대비 손지래마도 자기 정리고 진을 매랬다. 로 녀만 강추 대비 손지로 아마서. 마도 진을 믿어와. 로 갈래점고 진을 차이 믿어와.
So there's no such thing that doesn't require for us to make an effort. Everything that we do, it requires an effort to engage in any actions, all sorts of actions. But all those actions that we are engaging in is to achieve happiness.
진을 때문에 다 로. 진을 단 잠벨이 가질래로 다른 디스 생이지 진의 차이면도 녀다 쳇쳇로도 단다 강에 쳇쳇로도.
So the more you long to achieve happiness, the more desire that you increase. The more desire you increase, the more activities that you conduct, and then it is like unending sort of, increasing your desire, engaging in all kind of activities to achieve happiness. But at the end, there's no way that you could actually achieve ultimate state of happiness by engaging in mundane actions or mundane activities. Take an example of ourselves, right from the beginning of our life up until now, 30, 40, 50 years, we have been doing all sorts of things to become happy. And if you ask this question to ourselves, are we really happy that we really wanted to be? Are we in the state of that happiness that we really wanted to be? Since our childhood up until now, we have been going through all kind of process to achieving happiness. So then the question is here now, it is merely not sufficient or adequate to seek a physical happiness or the gross level of happiness, but rather we must seek a mental happiness. So in order to achieve mental happiness, we need to rely upon the authentic teachings, which really provides us a path upon which we can travel and get to the state of happiness. So here now, the teachings that we are receiving to achieve happiness is not just mere theory, but rather it is the matter of fact that many great, the noble beings who have ventured onto this path and achieved state of happiness, that we could clearly learn from their practices, and we could follow their footsteps to gain the state of happiness as they achieved. So now we are the followers of those beings, the beings who have achieved this ultimate state of happiness, such as Buddha Shakyamuni, and a lot of numerous Indian great masters of ancient India, Indian masters, as well as the numerous Tibetan masters who have achieved complete state of happiness by relying upon those teachings. So we, as a follower of their footsteps, it is up to us now whether we really want to achieve the state of happiness that they have achieved, or we just wanted to consider yourself as a follower of their footsteps, but you really want to take an action of getting onto the path which leads to the ultimate state of happiness. So this is the particular teachings or the instructions that we are receiving, given by the great masters, enlightened or the noble beings, who have given this instruction by saying that this is the path or the instruction that I have followed, and if you long to achieve happiness or if you long to achieve liberations, you may do the same.
주스 전로 건로 재산을 좀 메인바로와 아니 나기 마음반의 생제 되지 아니 나마저 당시 생제 당시 생제 되지 저기 된다라니 내 전에 저기 인다세데 맞추기 될 것을 보고 진짜 코로나 그에 차전에.
So this is a commitment that we need to have in our minds to receive these instructions or the teachings. My purpose of receiving these teachings is not just to achieve a mere physical happiness or the worldly happiness, but rather I'm here to receive these teachings to achieve mental happiness, and not only achieving mental happiness for my own self, but all other sentient beings.
사치 손바 집안동이다. 다 나저 다 자이 사치 집한테 란해서는 말 해서는 다 단다도 배치 고여로 demreje로 다 동방거 저 하마체 대체忍발라 니제 나저 자고 신년 dem비세다 때는 로제다 장이래 봐 니제 동번지사 때는 로제다 장이래 봐 니제 대대는 힘벌림 비시 그거다 힘보제단림 비치 니제 다 동번지사 다 힘보제단림 비치 취들래 니제 힘벌림 그래서 대대 힘벌림 비치 그거다 힘보제단림 비치 다 동벌래 니 나지 나자는 힘보제다 힘벌림 비치 뭐래 단 힘벌림 비치 뭐들 성래 주변 중간다 대모양 나제래 마냥선인지 주변 진다 대모 주변 첨비 나제래 마냥선인지 다 되는 동번지사 다 이번 주변 정게 대모양 나선인지 달라 성래 말이제래 주변 정게 삼바장 대제비치 될로버도 왔어요 타바다 대르변 나제랑제 때나 배바스 난 당가서 사지지 봐 타바다 대르변 나제랑제 때나 배바스 이게 내가 저기 당가서게 주변 진시비 카토게니 사지 타마텔레도래라 하지다.
So we are on the path of the attitude of the person of medium capacity, and under this chapter, the last chapter is the ascertaining the nature of the path leading to liberations. So we are under the last chapter, ascertaining the nature of the path leading to liberations.
대치. 당가서 들어와. 다 주변 진행 랑가서에 대 또 이니 코한데라 이미 단에니 타바타고 되세요. 들어와. 누자.
So the primary practice of the attitude of the person of medium capacity is to liberate ourselves from cyclic existence. That is the purpose. This is the primary subject matter of the person of medium capacities.
Because of Timoy Lanseke Chenkarsana, and Yomo Nudu Pombate, and Sanjay Tanchi Chet Nudu Pombitandala, Tabatani, Lochil Pajagora, Jubindrinda Timoy Langi, Jubindring Long means.
So it is also known as the shared path or the common path of the medium capacity. Why it is called the common path is it actually emphasizes on how to eliminate delusion or the afflictions, mental afflictions. Not only to achieve happiness for one's own self, it is for the benefit of all other sentient beings. Since you have these motivations of eliminating those afflictions for the benefit of all other sentient beings, then it is called common path, shared with or shared path of medium capacities. If it were like merely medium capacities, then you don't have to add to eliminate the negative or afflictions for the benefit of other sentient beings, but eliminate the afflictions to gain liberations.
That's the case with Jomogoch. That in the one Tapa Dubi, the Kantaji Gorsana, Natsona Gigi, that may you let you go rest. Tapa.
So since we are learning how to achieve liberations, then what kind of the basis is required to achieve happiness? The basis to record, liberations. The basis of achieving liberations is what we call the human rebirth, endowed with leisure and opportunity.
Semba kanriji le tene ni taba thago gorsana loba sonyane chengi ji thago gores.
What kind of mental attitude it requires to achieve liberation is the mental attitude need to be influenced by the three high trainings. Three high trainings. Sorry.
Ta tin no yinga so kare loba sonyo no yo nga so loba chutrinji loba ta hie gores.
So out of three high trainings, we're at this particular point, we're on the high trainings of ethical discipline.
De chi te be de chu do sare. Ta de chu do na. Ta loba chutrinji loba ka nga so de be che tem min do. Han du bi zawa sing de rewe.
Nga do bitsawa ya chutum
Ode. Ta nga so sa ji ten ro ginda.
So now let's go through the text.
Ta nga so sa ji man ro ginda. Ni loba chutrinji loba sing de ni doha kange on de shana ni me de min jwa jires.
So the practice of morality or the higher trainings of ethical discipline is inevitable practice of practice of sutra or the tantra. Whether one is engaging in the practice of sutra or tantra, the basis for one's practice is observation of ethical discipline.
Tang ni de ki cha de shu ji chon ro de ma so nga son de ro a ben kun chu song ji no no chu kun chu jiao ngui yin se de ka re san da nga son la ba chen ji me ge ju bong ye la ba chen ji la ba de ba song ji de chu kun ju re de ji jiao shi ma la de me yi ko bon jiao ro de na gi ge ni la ba chen ji la ba de me na lang ga ko no yin ro sa ye ma de.
So without having the high trainings of ethical disciplines, there's no way out of liberation. There's no way out of samsara or the cyclic existence. It is by engaging in observation of ethical discipline, one gains a higher rebirth of high rebirths in deva realms and human realms, upon which one can then gain liberations from samsara.
Chu den ji den gang ge chen me chin tin ji se ro. Chin dan den ba se so na, che dan den ba se na chin da tin ba re. Chin da tin bi me ji na che de gang ge ge che ge ma ro.
It's just like you are following the rules and regulations of where you are right now in a particular place. It has its own laws and conducts to follow. As long as you follow the laws, then you're out of trouble. In the same manner, if you are observing the moral disciplines and whatever the practice, the spiritual practice that you may engage, will develop furthermore.
당연 최신 나서 뭐한테 또 다인다. 당을 로인다. 한 주비 자와양 추진인데 손다다. 본사지 쉬발래. 하지 자와 동보 추진때 되는 준지 당의 저바당사. 자와라네 대당 상추생 상하 당의 레로면 바오사. 제다 명원人chen 윤된바 자와면 바 제거 류와시. 대신 하바양라데 윤당 denpa chuna dipa dewashi jedans jambe saji le jans.
So let's read through the text here. We have 346, the page 346. About the middle of the page, it is. Of the entire discipline, it says, of the entire discipline that I and Conquer taught the pure ethical discipline of individual liberations, a householder practitioner of a mantra should set aside the signs and rituals and practice the rest. If this is the case, then it goes without saying the renounced practitioners of the mantra must act in accordance with the text on discipline. Ethical discipline is the root of practice in the mantra vehicle as well. The Tantra requested by the Sabhava says, the root of the mantra vehicle is the first place ethical discipline. From it comes joyous perseverance, patience, faith in the conquerors, the spirit of enlightenment, the mantra vehicle, and the absence of the laziness. Just as the Lord possessing the 7 treasures tames all beings without disillusionment, so as mantra practitioners controls sins when possessing these 7.
Jo Tsutrin Chandela, Della Dendro Kalaye, Tori Soyan Minjishin, Dewa Chodun, Ang Minjana, Jave Sumbi Ha Nane, Drubanjo, Major Go, She Sumbi Shoro,
So then the text go on to say, and the root tantra of the Manjushri Mula Tantra says, if this person who recite mantras spoil their ethical discipline, they would lose the highest of attainments, also also middling attainments, and the least of attainments. The master of the sage does not say that for the faulty ethical discipline achieve the tantric path. Breaking ethical discipline is neither a situation nor a destination for those going to the city of nirvana. For these miserable children, where is the achievement of the tantric path? For beings who have faulty ethical discipline, where are the happy realms? Since they will attain neither high status nor the highest bliss, what need is there to speak of their attaining the knowledge of mantra vehicle taught by the conquerors?
This word. Sutrin Yabo Masona, Joashima, Dendro Mato Ayena, and Dele Yawaji, Tori Gene Jegmaras, Tori Genes Maruna, Sanje Yasumbi, Dendo Dewachida, Yunekuro Maras, Tendati.
To summarize this quotation here, if one is unable to observe ethical discipline, how can we achieve high rebirth? If one is unable to achieve high rebirth, how can we engage in any practice to liberate ourselves from samsara? Let alone that gaining the state of higher the state of tantric realizations, you will not even able to free yourself from samsara without engaging in practice of ethical discipline. Let alone that we gain the higher realizations of higher mantric realizations of the tantric realizations, you will not even achieve the high rebirth in your future life without engaging in the practice of ethical discipline. So it is matter of fact, right? Without engaging in a positive deeds, without observing 10 virtuous actions, how can we take rebirth in a high rebirth? How can we achieve high rebirth? We cannot achieve high rebirth without engaging in positive deeds. Just by engaging in negative deeds, it is not possible for us to have a positive result. Just take an example, if someone asks you to kill the one person, you will be happy. Do you think it's going to be? If someone asks you to take the life of that person, kill that person, you will be happy. So then what's going to happen to us? We think by killing that person we will be happy? It doesn't require any reasonings, or it doesn't require any faith or anything. By engaging in positive deeds, you'll have a positive result. That's the fact.
Megi chubongi sutin rochi petem golo sending chena that sendela pembo da tringi meshet and ha siba chiroa. Ha siba chireda yang masuki konami de shuche jan semele sabi in jebete senjula ni dongen.
Although you may get out of the consequence of engaging in negative deeds or not observing 10 non-virtuous actions in this particular lifetime, you may engage in some act of killing, but you will not be caught by anyone, so you will get out of that. But when it comes to the karma, the karmic result, there's no way that you can escape from karmic result. You will, later or sooner, you will be the person who is experiencing the consequence of the karma that you have accumulated.
Bena sendegi jibodan on da tabu shu yangen tandegi sote la bete mema la bete kanjo maju chena semela soso ni nyaka chamboji la do ngaso ngoye ni thoyen do.
So we would see we also witness there are many beings in the early part of their life, they're being rich, powerful, engaged in all sort of actions. In the worst case, they have been killing beings and taking the life of human beings and so forth. For time being, those people are appears to be happy and freed, but then sometime, even within their lifetime, in the later part of their life, we see they undergo a tremendous amount of sufferings. So this is, this once you have engaged in any negative deeds, any kind of negative deeds, you will be the one who actually experiences its result. If one understands the rules, let's take the ordinary rules or the laws, that if you understand the law, observe the law, follow the laws, and whatever you do, you will do with confidence. You have no doubt. But if you do not know the law and keep breaking the law, you will always end up in so anxious and having become so doubtful about whatever you do.
Sutrin ki dewaro pe mesi de sutrin sengi de ngaso khaya la shu go re pe na ro da meni ki paru la tin sutrin de kome kanjo ma jo me pasho de le no ba she sha na pasho de ha ma go na ka di na kho to do se chen de ge chi ke go ro ya na tao ma de ge chung so do cha cha sa na ko ko se to yin kan do.
So this ethical discipline is it's something that is very, very important. Even when it doesn't really matter whether you are a believer or not. But ethical discipline is, if you really think carefully, the ethical discipline is the one that really bring about harmonies between two people, among the societies, and so forth. So therefore, it really requires, even if you are not a believer, the ethical discipline, practice of ethical discipline is really required.
Samba minga yin somba dansa shara yi shine jansa chi lo sha.
So let's read through the text here again. A master called Kamlungpa said, when a famine occurs, everything depends on barley. In the same way, everything revolves around ethical discipline in the practice of of the teachings. Therefore, apply yourself to this. Those who have not thought about karma and its effects will not achieve pure ethical discipline. Therefore, thinking about this is a personal imperative.
Kodewa te karsa ngasumegi kahagundoa kozumegi tangasун데 노바드슬 강에스케 체면이 소스케 레그만 지금은 돈에잖아 칼라메라데 강에 트비콜라 더바질 칼라치도서나 가가될 상적으로.
So it's just like if one is suffering from hunger, and then whatever the food that you find in front of yourself, and you will be so happy and delighted with the particular food that you have in your front, in front of yourself. So in the same manner, whatever the teachings that you may have received, whether it is sutra or tantra, the ethical discipline is the one that actually all those teachings are actually immersed within the teachings of the ethical discipline. In order to have a genuine appreciation to ethical discipline, practice of ethical discipline, one should develop a genuine appreciation to law of cause and effect or karma.
맞아 렌저스르마도 젠데세션 코데완도아 맞아 기타나 로조 단다 로조 제소는 조마 강에 티고 말으시디 단다 주야고지사네 마음번 접뉴아로 맞아 젠데트 베드 켈렌도 렌저스 타니 메제르마 렌도요리 내가 제동.
Instead of saying karma, if you would say the law of cause and effect, it makes more sense what which is saying. It's because once you have created the cause, and the cause will always have a potential to give rise to its effect.
Venerable 나타난 거 나서나 내 가서 가르사샤 있나서 얘기 줄에서는 도구여와. 다 단다 시다 마사마도 거 나그래다 세디 양 제불에서는 돈에 줄에서 저 도구여와.
So let's take an example. Even though that you may not accept law of cause and effect, but in reality, in our day-to-day life, and ultimately we're accepting law of cause and effect. Let's take an example of me, that I'm having a headache at this point. And then as soon as I have a headache, I think about what happened. Why I'm having a headache. Did I eat something that causes headache? Or you would say, or you must refrain from eating such things because you may have a headache later. So in this case, you are not, verbally that you are not accepting law of karma, cause and effect, but in reality, you are accepting cause and effect.
다 춘춘지 제가도스기 춘소와 니 춘데 다보 정의게 니 police 텐데 장바데 데로와 저부도 자모여 된다로와.
So let's talk about the country. Each and every country has their own, law enforcement. Let's take a police. And all of the actual main purpose, generally the main purpose of having the law enforcement or the policeman in the city and the country is not to have a bad result, refraining people from engaging in bad actions which will cause a bad result.
다데스로 니자기 도와 데스로 다 샤라이시네스 마바치 트런더선은 뜻좀다 야가담 빌라만 단지 가담 빌라마로 왔다는데 샤라이시네 장사 찔레니 지슌양스 츄라템 바스 디 나네 장 뉘와네 제다 슌와라 때나 니 도점 메거바 셰장와 다퇴바 냐가와 타장와 예송바다 니 게시 템비시네 장 So
let's read these paragraphs. And Sharava said, in general, whatever good or ill happens to you depends on religion. Moreover, within religion, if you depend on the text, on the discipline, say you whatever if you depend on the on what the text on the discipline say, you will not even have to repeat things. You will be confidently pure, consistent, sure, and steadfast. Let's take a 15-minute break here.
단지 계시 샤라하기 때문에 제가 쇼차로를 단단랑에 되는데 다라래 배나 추춘예시 정말 취비 취생이죠. 녀모 사도 세빈다요. 제교연은 행보다 보지. 다 추춘 취지도 송이게 메데이나. 아니 민몽바 놀러라 아니 가르래. 제교연은 행보다 보지세. 또지 디파면 번로긴디 세지어라. 추춘 야보 송이 되나. 민몽바 놀러 메시지 지지 첨부. 아니 패쇼기 때문에 지 라고아이나 지 천하라 소바 떠면나요 장신지 상변 뒤로야지야对这这些我记着的你那等等脏啊大体吧娘高啊生的等等的老人的比较学着的等等给些下来我送的也给些出去送给没些呢对没下来刚一点多いですね、レジが。
The Geshe Sharawa is one of the great Kadamba master. He said, again, let's read once again the same paragraph by Geshe Sharawa. He said, in general, whatever good or ill happened to you depends on religion. Moreover, within religion, if you depend on the text, on discipline, if you depend on what the text on discipline say, you will not even have to repeat things. You will confidently pure, consistent, sure, and steadfast. So what this paragraph really means here is if someone who is really engaging in ethical discipline purely, whose ethical discipline is impeccable, then such a person is you will actually stand out, become a distinctive among all human beings. And even without having any, it doesn't require any, weapons or the powerful weapons to subdue, anything that he would like to subdue. As long as you have a pure ethical disciplines, all those negative forces can be defeated. Doesn't require any, weapons, the powerful weapons, but it can be defeated based on, observation of impeccable ethical discipline. It says like you will be confidently pure, consistent, sure, and steadfast. Someone whose ethical discipline is pure, then that is what the kind of quality that we may possess.
Dice, Tageshe Tembishine Janche. Sensigan Diola Tenen Ha Janjin, Hala Tenen Diwa Janjin Desa. Diwa Hajitu, Han Diu Tos Songa, Ngai Lami Kaju Mimbala Me Sombatan, Juishene Jan, Ne Jagawana, Togi Chembo, Shawa Lobo Washona, Dene Zimbana, Sone, Dene Sone, Makakan, Dene Sonda Mingala, She Tela Poba, Ti Tinto Joba Yens, Yen Dukamala Shilai, Ti Tinto, Shansenchi Shobana, Makakan, Teta Mingala, She Shawa Shiolas, Dimi Shao Duan Zemba Zoma, Yinos, Songos, Yin Songos. This is should.
So let's read through the text here again. Kishi Domdomba said, one group holds that when you rely upon the discipline, you discard the practice of mantra, and that when you rely upon the mantra vehicle, you discard the rules of the discipline. The teachings that discipline is a companion of the mantra vehicle, and the mantra vehicle is a companion of discipline. Exists only in my guru Atisha's lineage. And also the elder said, when things of great import or the unexpected events befell us, Indians, those who uphold the scriptural collections, would assemble and determine whether these things were prescribed in the three scriptural collections or were at odds with them. Based on this, we made decisions. In addition to that, those of us from Vikamala Shila were concerned that there be no prescription among the bodhisattvas activities and no contradiction with them. Nonetheless, those who uphold the text on the discipline made the final determinations. So, if you look at this story in Tibet, at one time there had been difficulties disagreeing between the monastic discipline, monastic members, and the practitioners of Tantrayana, because when the monastic discipliners, monastic members would reject tantric practices, and tantric practice would reject monastic disciplines. There had been some complications and problems in Tibet at one time, until the arrival of the Atisha Divamkara Shirijana in Tibet. There had been great conflicts between those two groups of the practitioners. This is why the Domdamba said, Domdamba have said here, the teachings that the discipline is companion of the mantra vehicle, and the mantra vehicle is companion of the discipline, exists only in the Guru Atisha's lineage. That's what he meant at that time, at that particular time. There had been a big problem between the two camps of practitioners. So there are new Kadamba and old Kadamba traditions. So new Kadamba traditions are referring to Lama Tsongkapa's emergence of Lama Tsongkapa's onwards, and then all Kadampas are emerged referring to the Adishas and
다 가단 시장 나자세디 슌도이 켄시 잠바나 이니 리니 년조 잠바스
so
가단 시장 나자세다 그래
Kadamba is known as the pure internally and externally. What is meant by pure internally and externally means externally it is pure due to the ethical discipline, and internally it is pure due to the practice of mantrayana.
디손 때는 도와 디손 가서 가서로 가단 바레베 세케션데 데도 담을 청년들이 가단 바세니 초초초셔야 되는 여자로 되게 민사바지 배제슈도는 비다보아데 미 배제 도제슈 당고여서로 돼서 근데 정이 뭐도
I came across with several people who just asked me, are you a Kadamba lineage holder or are you a Kadamba follower of the Kadamba tradition? But then I really, later on I realized that there are people who are using the name of Kadamba tradition and having their center and whoever, just using the name of Kadamba. Probably those are the practitioner of Shugden. I'm not sure whether you're familiar with that or not. Yeah. So they use the name Kadamba for their center, and then people get confused and they just come and ask, "Are you a Kadamba tradition, follower of the Kadamba tradition," and that kind of stuff. So people misuse this name of Kadamba.
가단 바이는 간제지고서는 응선대로 공통으로 뭐지 소셔로 실현년 투셔버 시신티 나들이 년조 된다데 나하라는 게메토스 차통이 되나 가단 비타와 삼마장.
So Kadamba, if you are a Kadamba lineage holder, as Je Tsongkapa Rinpoche stated, that it should be a Kadamba lineage holder should be externally you should be so disciplined as a Sharbaka and Pratyeka Buddha, and internally you should be enriched by the two stages of the Mantrayana, the generation stage and completion stage of the Mantrayana. And if someone who is able to, see the free of contradiction between the mantra and the sutra is said to be the Kadamba holder, the lineage of the Kadamba lineage holder.
단다 치지어데 단간조 마스마다 가담바 세계 치티디 다시기 치여쇼저레 데네 가지지 사도 가담은 실세지 청와대 담바 관계 전에 대한 인생이 되게 치딩한 로마데 제 로바손의 자신이 저래 데네손의 가사 데네손 다가진 로마스 치여쇼저레 가담은 실세지 청와대 담바 관계 전에 대한 인생이 가당 미게 니 되네 소게 도바 소게 냥네데 아니 칭왕을 빼샤 세지 칭왕을 빼샤 대니 수리지 칭왕의 장도 와이나 아니 다 되게 자그래서 비다 쉬우저래 되네 손자.
So Rinpoche said that he can't remember that beautiful verse of what is meant by Kadamba, the meaning of the Kadamba. It's beautifully stated, but Rinpoche doesn't remember. But it says Kadamba is someone who is a holder of the three baskets of the teachings. And three baskets of the teachings is analogous to the golden rosary. And it says someone golden mala, in other words, and someone who ever holds that golden mala will be on the path to the state of enlightenment. There's one beautiful verse, but she doesn't remember. This is the meaning of the verse. So if one understands the essence of the teachings of the two, Sutta and Tantra, then one will never see any contradictory between the teachings of the Tantra and the teachings of the Sutra. But complementary.
단지 자가래도 내 자가나서 문제 도바 첨부기 내 수있던 로봇 강에 첨부 주었던 다 제거 해서나 네 너와도听것도 문도 네 라바도 상주 선비쇼 라바도听것도 문도기 때문에 다 제거 소면 돼.
그래서
이 자원 시샤서 된 도와 시샤는 로고에 송도
그래서
되미셔 되와는 zemba 송 실세디 주지로
So regardless of what kind of practice that one may do, the practice must be done on the basis of ethical discipline. There's no way that one can engage in any kind of practice, practice of Mahayana or the Tantrayana. It should be based on ethical discipline.
당가 내가 롱바지는 여러치 정소나 미니바로 계셔시는 팀보소에 제로 배나 강연 지체소나 다 자가거서 던지세면도 미니바로 강연에면도 그러와 용 첨부 코로나 지자체 아니 도와도 되는데 상주선배 라바단 게소나 아니 게사들까 아니 민게나 다가라 주는 로도
So it's all this practice that if you look at the practice of monastic discipline and the practice of bodhisattvas vows and then tantric practice the teachings of the Tantrayanas. If you really look at those teachings, you wouldn't really see any contradictory or contradiction among those teachings.
자갈로 gomba chisho de naneta tijilan jukamalashi se tere songdo jukamalashi la se gomba ima tuse tenijin.
So this is how all these practices are coexistently coexistent in the great monastic universities such as Great Monastic Learning Center of Nalanda, and then the second biggest learning center at that time was Bikamalashila, the place called Bikamalashila.
The gone the Deneson said the uncle did Hako that Deneson did Radaton Mado. Deneson said ni carre do you dene do de dene and it will be dene salagra. That's on the test on the Lobason Jeje Chebichane. Laba Sutra Laba Jeje Chebichane, do you dene any carre thinking the Laba Jeje Chebichane, do de dene. And Shara de Laba Jeje Chebichane will be dene. Dene on the Lobason said it a Yamadeo.
So the three baskets of the teachings, as most of you are familiar with, right? Or it is also known as Tripitaka. The Tripitaka is the first basket of the teaching is a discipline, the monastic discipline, Dui Duni, the sutra of the discipline, and the second one is the sutra, which is just a sutra, and the third one is Abhidharma Sutra. So all those three different baskets holds at three high trainings. It actually the subject matter of the discipline is the high trainings of the ethical disciplines, and subject matter of the sutra is the concentrations or the samadhi. Then the subject matter of the Abhidharma Sutra is said to be the wisdom. It talks about the wisdom.
Nyomongo ne batang zawa ne bawi tingen zeta shiro je laba moye kowa tende chango ba somba ta yinbe ma sheba ta nyomong ngon zemba sheba ma shela sa ngon zemba shela 대다게 님이 당 대다다 저유 평양상에 전당 시신지 소주대에서 녀모바 강군 분부 랑고모라 양당 양도 동분대 거사 동통주지 대양서 녀모바 강 말 강여롱아 랑기 주라 뉴게 쇼마타 니도 될라 잡대네 더고사 대다면바 동보 쇼자나 당도네 수미 이시지 순대 순대버소나 타 다면바 콤바시든로와 송어 송도 그때서 렌타 소리는 로샤가지
So let's read through the text here again. Further, with regard to keeping a pure ethical discipline in this way, Nusurba said, again, this is another Kadamba master. Right now, only this internal struggle with affliction is important. If you do not struggle with afflictions, you will not achieve ethical disciplines. You will not achieve a pure ethical discipline, in which case you will not attain the concentrations and wisdom that respectively suppressed and uproot the afflictions. Hence, as the Buddha says, you will have to wander continually through cyclic existence. Therefore, as I explained before, once you have identified an affliction, reflected on their faults, on the benefit of the separating from them, and planted the spice of mindfulness and vigilance, you must repeatedly fend off whatever affliction arises its head. Further, you must see any afflictions as an enemy and take it as soon as it arises in your mind. Otherwise, if you acquiesce with when it first appears, and then nurture it with improper thoughts, you will have no way to defeat it, and it will conquer you in the ends. Even if you fail to arrest the affliction through such efforts, you must not allow them to linger, but must immediately disperse them as though they were drawing in the water. Do not let them be like a drawing in the stone. So normally, when we speak about practicing Dharma, we're not really reflecting on our internal afflictions. We're not really focusing on the faults of negative thoughts and emotions, the faults of afflictions. We're more into ritual processes, such as saying mantras, reciting sutras or sadhanas and so forth. So in which case we're actually lacking the actual practice, the essence of the practice of the Dharma. So now if one is really a serious practitioner, one should identify the faults of afflictions. And having identified the faults of afflictions, one then apply a remedy towards. It is through this one is able to achieve concentrations. And correspondingly, achieved the wisdom that understands ultimate nature of realities. So without which it is not possible, without identifying the internal afflictions and the faults of internal afflictions, it is not possible for us to even achieve a proper concentrations or the samadhi. So what is meant by the nyomong, or the afflictions, or the delusion? It is translated in English. In Malaysia, it is the original term, which is translated in English, Tibetan as a nyomong. What is meant by nyomong is, nyomong is as a state of mind, afflictions which afflicts within, which actually, undisciplined, undisciplined state of mind. It is an undisciplined state of the mind is said to be the nyomong.
카투 메보조 거마 조거마데 야나 라니 시보 맹에 조거 야나 제 시보 맹에 조거선 가사 어데 도지 녀모제는 다제 마르시면 센터도나 도바쇼세 뜻을 고알레네 아니 녀모 님이 따고도
So this practice can also combine with the practice of the eight verses of the trainings of the mind. As soon as the friction arises, as soon as you notice that, acknowledge that the friction is there, you immediately apply the remedy towards and avert it. Get rid of it. Don't let the afflictions linger on. Don't sustain those negative thoughts and emotions within yourself.
근데 너하자 소유디 녀모생에 대 간주여 받지 뭔지 전에 무엇을 받지 네 무엇을 사디 코 연구여서는 아니 가서 싫어기 소바주 소문데
시지
시제다 전반이 맞아 소바자거 소문데
So therefore here in this particular the Lam Rim is importantly emphasized on identification of the afflictions and the faults of those afflictions. Once you are able to identify those afflictions, then you should employ the introspection and the mindfulness as a spy. Give them as a spy, and then let the spy or let this mindfulness and introspection take care of these problems of the afflictions.
딘드기 소바주는 해소나 라바는 동통냐냐가 되거스. 맞지 단다고 진데는 라바는 천천히 해소는 나서 소외지로. 대나기.
Once you identify those afflictions and you just think about that, you actually you should be there holding a weapon in your hand, and you are ready to actually attack those afflictions.
단지들 넣어서 센터도는 도와줘. 다가나 되고도 쇼마타도 자타니 메보서 그러마도 그 현재는 자샤와이나 갈래갈래 니보잖아요. 뒤나요 도무 통해 잘.
At the moment this affliction arises, look at this affliction as your enemy and get rid of this enemy from your because if you let this enemy lingers, and it will then intensify and then will become uncontrollable.
단지 뭐 이미 도는 시에요도 됐어요. 세일 당도 좀 마스 도인다. 간제는 그거지. 제당 가서 되는 그거지. 가디나 네 카테 작어서다 메보조거서가 강에 강가 용해되다. 녀모생이 인생의 문제 제제로 한 거죠. 인지 미지 주조본들 강에 용어서지 라버지 산나만 도와체. 강에 종에다 강에 용증에 따 녀모생에 대해다 녀모생이 데려다 세지.
So we need to identify the root cause of all our sufferings and problems are the afflictions. The afflictions are the root cause of all problematic situations. We should, recognize that and think about it. As long as these root causes exist, and then problem will always be there. So therefore, I must, take a responsibility to get rid of the root cause of our problems.
Jendaba yushu da nga su sa chun zin de tanda ki phombo de yang nyomo chen jo ro le da nyomo ni yuso shan jo jiro ko kange ji yuso shan jo jiro nyo da yong ji.
Not only that, but also even our own physical aggregates, our own body, which we cherish so much, is also a product of delusion and afflictions.
Teda kanre na sa chun bo de pi ta bo de ji kanre na sang su chen si go ko kanre yong go san na to ha ji ko so yin ko ma sa man de bi ji kange ji yuso shan jo jiro nyo da yong ji ro jin so na nyo da yong mi ji yuso sha so de ji re da.
So one may wonder why we should think our body is a product of the delusion. It cannot be, How can it be? Because we cherish our body so much. We cherish so much that we have a excessive attachment towards our body and really take care of our body and so forth. So if we were to ask that, then if you really think very carefully, our body is composed of blood, flesh, and bones. We cannot find any, pure substances in it. If you look at all the cooperative conditions and the substances that come about our physical aggregate, it's not really a pure one.
Nga tso ki ko tsa chenpo zen de rima do ko tsa chenpo de peche yawa je tangwo ya ma ro wa tsa chenpo de peche yawa tang so na di ki ten de la tanda xien de ye ne yuen ten ngone physun so ba de ten de la nye che ro.
Here now, on the one hand, we really consider our body, physical body, as something that is so precious to us. Yet at the same time, we're not making good use of it. If you really think that is really precious, something that is very precious, we should make good use of it. However, we're not doing so.
Tele ko de sha na phama dum bi bu tsa chemu shu je ne bu lo lo jo ji me zhe je bu tsa chemu yin sen yan de de ji pe ji jiang de.
It's the same thing like someone who would consider his or her, child as something very precious to him or her, but we're not giving education.
Den zhe ji san de dong su na yang lu ten de le ren tang chen bi go ne yang ke son le ji ro ke son le sa de no sa chen bo yin se de nya ni bi ge de le nyu mo du su gang ga de ku yi be zhe dang ni zhong gang ga de ra yong ta du.
Once you have identified how precious your body is, then make good use of it. Don't let that body become a nest or the basis of all the negative thoughts and emotions. Get rid of all the negative thoughts and emotions from our precious body.
그 계적 같은 시 누어지 시장에는 맞추게 내자셔도 때문 순간에 가서 풍부들 거버 지자체는 내가 제고 그 대면한테 민중한테 지자체는.
So normally the way when we talk about this mental affliction such as attachment, hatred, and anger, ignorance, we consider those negative thoughts and emotions as something that is, integral part of our body. Because without this, that we always feel that ourselves. Without this, it is not possible for us to survive. Such as attachment is something that is really needed. The way we consider is like attachment is something that we needed. And anger or the hatred is we need it to protect ourselves. This is how we look at all the negative thoughts and emotions and embrace them. And self-grasping mind is something that really protects us. And so someone, something that really takes care of us.
But tell a relation the Zintan Corona Sana Done, Joshi Jono, Sachi Tangi is on a Jun Tembo Menge.
However, if you really, analyze carefully the actual mode of object of comprehension, the object of this, comprehension of those attachments, ignorance, and self-grasping, then you will see the object itself is not really correspond to the reality, in which case the self-grasping and attachment, all of them are mistaken thought. It is not a correct thought or a valid thought.
So
it doesn't really has to be to think about those lines. Doesn't really think has to be one. Really has to be a believer or someone who's practitioner. But even in our day-to-day life, in ordinary beings or non-believers, you can think about that. This is how we, how our life is. We always think, we embrace those negative thoughts and emotions, such as attachment, anger, and self-grasping, and let those negative thoughts and emotions freely roam in our heart.
Chulu de Pajiki Chulu Karin, the Jashu said, social the church. Tadu saying the Yungubinets in the Taja and Genda Jin Dogumando.
So it is therefore, His Holiness make a distinction between the religion, Buddhist religion, and then Buddhist philosophy.
Jacob Makasi on the Chulu Paji Pamiki Chulu Tarangi, Chidet and Rosho Songoda.
So His Holiness always, whenever he has a chance to, give a public talk in a general public, so he would always suggest we follow your own religion.
Chulu Tarangi on the Chidet and Roy, the Sushuki Tadu take Hojote, the Chulu and Gendogo and Seremadua.
So then you can study the philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, even without becoming a Buddhist yourself. There's no problem studying Buddhist philosophy.
Chiparo, I saw Bena Chulu Gandachiosona, what Nasuna Mekon Rogura. What Chulu gets a mewa.
So just like that, if you are the reason for studying the philosophy, religious philosophy, in other words, not particularly the Buddhist religious philosophy, just philosophy, will really let you understand the reality of how things are, right? That doesn't require, that doesn't has to be someone who is a believer. Just same thing, someone who is having a headache needs to go to see a doctor and see a physician and what's really going on. And that doesn't really needs any kind of religious belief.
Dada Yamete with the Kochulu Deres and Mete Kimendua. Korongi was a long Pekes on the Conjun Jonji to the Mategaton, maybe Nancy the typical and member Caban Tegroa.
And then when the physician actually prescribed the medication for that individual, the will prescribe the medication based on the sickness of that individual, not based on what kind of religion he or she believes.
That is the Chulu Kakashe, the Nanga Shuich.
So this is how important it is that we should understand why His Holiness would actually distinguish between religion and religious philosophy.
Tell the Chuluki Kangiming and Chagore, Miri Kangiming and Chagore, Piggy Carrera, Hojongi, Hosenlia, the Kangiming and Chagua.
It will, actually provide a freedom for all beings who would like to study in the philosophy, regardless of what's your belief system. You can always study the or philosophy. That to study the religious philosophy, that doesn't require individual to be a believer.
Tandangi Penangas Lapa Sutin Jalabi Cola Shay, you will be next to the Timber and the Hijo Gudumado, and 상제기 송으로 될 인지미지 대바적을 개척하면도
So, and then particularly when we were in this, we're talking about the ethical discipline, we're talking about the fact, isn't it? We're talking about something that really corresponds to reality. We're not talking about that you should have a faith to practice ethical discipline. It is not, we're not talking about the faith is needed for, to practice ethical discipline. Rather, it is a fact that corresponds to the reality.
저런 이 트윈데 쿠쇼다 아니 저런 시와 차거래 저런 쌈마 차거래 아니 저런 잠보 차거래 저런 따티바 용을 쓰면 돼.
If you observe ethical discipline, you will be, it says ethical discipline, you will be pure, you will be steadfast and consistent.
야, 던져지지. 아니 가서 던져지. 다른 가서 자기 얘네들은 그거래. 당 가서 은혜 전에 자와이나 당 가서 내 통보하기 거기서 봐봐. 가야 라이기 가른 거 주고서나 아니 수준이 라바 냥스네 했던 거 주고.
So for us, the initial practitioners, what is most important for us to practice is to practice ethical discipline. We must begin our practice from engaging the practice of ethical discipline as an initial practitioner.
아니 저도 뒤진다는 거고요나 대송 잠은 거에도 아니 라바 츠팅지 라바 생이 되게 내가 가르려도 다 셰바체 아니 라네도 아니 거네 되네 되던 로세 차그래로.
If you try to understand what is ethical discipline, what is meant by practice of ethical discipline, and follow and observe the pure ethical discipline, will then really transcend yourself from in a blissful state to blissful state.
아니 강적은 미바세와 아니 싫어하거나 산나동거나 제바 차와 되는 거죠.
If one engages in the practice of meditation based on pure ethical discipline, your meditation will become fruitful, and if you engage in practice of generating wisdom based on a pure ethical discipline, then your wisdom will become a sharper.
근데에는 라바선 수준소의 녀선이 다 가서 녀선을 발라 때네 네 라신 강가에 지라니 타바다 터지 준비 네 저변유도 멤버 쇼 대야 나라라기 제투바 쇼선에는 뭐하든 제다.
So this to the dedication of by means of engaging in the practice of ethical disciplines and 3 high trainings, may all sentient beings and myself be able to achieve high trainings, the trainings or high trainings, to free myself and all other sentient beings to the state of liberations.
다게 주니 사비 개완데 대단 저와 견라 강변당 세번 저즈 로상 저바예 덴베니 모렌도 세제 보이제 쇼즈메도 정제로 내제니데 제만데 상제진도 메데베와예 로겐나도 신라 쇼바쇼 근도 양다 라마당 제메 치제벨라 롱셰진 사단 랑제 윤데 라조네 도제 장견 고본녀도쇼 구르라나 메레나가 나야다야메 렌도 벨레 존예네 가다 양바 간시 사바데 로미 마레 게동 저와나 난제 자예 원보 다주지 대마 순베 세로 근도양 잠베 양제 제베 제존네 Rinpo Gyun Tsang Lang Je Cho Nye Nye Zhu Bin Je Na Nye Shi Sho Rang Ge Chi Jin Do Bi Lang Je Ne Shu Zha Tse Yue Chang Yue Ta Ge Ji Zhu Yue Yue Je Min Ba Se Xie Ne Jia Yue Den Ba Yu Ren Zin Ju Ji Dāng bā rīn chīn chō kē mā chā bā chō chō nyāng bā chū bē shō tē nē nian jē chīn bō yē rō chō bā yē pian tē 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 sē wā shē bā shō sē jīn jā yē mē shō chīn lē 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 chū shāng chū lāng jē chīn bē chāng Tang de na je ye la be de shen jia yun ze ba ren do zhong ju ji lang zang zhu bie tie jian zhu xie jin ge jian si jie ma dang mi mi gen gen do jia yun nga ba ye na da la dang zhe wan ma ju ji Gāng zhē tē bā chō lā chū shē jī Chū shē chū lā zhōng bā tē yue zē Tū tē nā jī tā tū chū shē jī Chā shī jiāng shū shū kīng chō jū jī Nā mī gu cē rā tēn jī Nā gā chē nē shū chū jī bā tāng Lo zang dian bie zhe mian sa song ji zhuo ye mian sen da du nian ju ji ru zhao ye guo ye xin gang su mian dang dian wan ma lin zhong ye ni zhen wang dian zhen jia zuo yi xiao bie xin tian ba du nian ju ji Mā yue chī tā chīn bā tāng Gyōng du sāng bō tēn yāng tē xīn tē Tē tā gyōng jī jī sū tā lō shī Gyēn wā tē tā tāng jī rā du ngōng Tū sōng shī bē jā tāng jī jī Ngā wā kāng lā chū tu ngā bā tē Da xin ge yue za wan du gyun jiang Zong bo xue zhi rao du ngō